was horrible.
Surprised that many Korean people were really strong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but not the
going up the mountain.
Korea, it was like light.
Here the hikers we met were more like that was quite different.
It was really fun. I hiked Soyesan Mountain and Dobang Mountain. Soyesan was horrible. It was so tall, but I did all the peaks on Soyesan and I went to the very top. I've done it twice, but Dobang was really, really fun. I really like doing Dobang Mountain. Yeah, it's a lot different. Like in America, we don't stop and eat, but I climbed Soyesan and I get to the top and everybody is having a picnic, you know? Yeah, it was strange, but it was really funny. Yeah, I did. I stopped when I got to the top and they gave me food. Yeah, the Korean people were very nice. Yeah, they gave me like a rice cake. It was really nice.
I went hiking in Korea 3 years ago and I was hiking in the Soraksan mountains, but it was during the summer, so it was very hot and very exhausting, and I was surprised that many Korean people were really strong, hiking really well, and I was like exhausted after 5 minutes. Yes, they like to eat and drink some beer at the top of the mountain. There's some special drink typical when we go to the mountain, so we always drink this drink and beer a lot. And then we drink the beer and we lie in the sun to get a tan, everyone together, and some dancing also sometimes and party. I think especially in the summer, Koreans wear long clothes because they don't want to get hit by the sun, and sometimes the men wear no clothes because it's so hot in the summer and they just wear like really short top and short pants. But in Korea, they even wear like the mask in the summer to not get any sunburn. So this kind of hiking clothing culture was a bit different. We have it, but if we go to the mountain, usually we dress really short clothes because German people like to get tan. Usually Korean people tend to like more light and whiter skin, so that's really different. So it was worth hiking because the view was really pretty. Even though it was hot, I enjoyed it.
Oh, I love it. So it's crazy. You'll see like the old grandpas and they'll be passing you, and the old grandmas, and they're passing you and you're like huffing and puffing and they're like, keep it up, like you can do it. And I'm like, thank you. But no, it's always so beautiful. Like all the trails are so well upkept and like you don't ever see trash anywhere. I hiked Apsan Mountain in Daegu, but it was really fun. It was really pretty. All like the cultural aspects of it, like along the mountainside, you can stop at temples and like Buddhist remains and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's really pretty. I loved it. They'll see me like huffing, they're like, you got it, like keep going. I'm like, oh my gosh. I think yes, a little bit. Like we're still kind to each other, but we're kind of like mind your own. You're just like, someone's struggling, like don't look at them struggling. Or the palace in Seoul, one of the palace, we dressed in the traditional dress, and like so many people like giving us thumbs up and giving us hearts, and like they're so excited to see us in it. And I don't know, America's not that nice.
Hiking in Korea is very nice. It's very well organized. I think that there's so many people in Korea, so they've organized the trails very, very well. Even have a mountain just in front of where we live, where we can go up. It's like 300-400 meters high. But we've also been to Hallasa in Jeju, which is the highest mountain. That was also very, very nice.
Yeah,
but the hiking in Korea is very nice. Koreans like to hike a lot also, so you can see all ladies when you're out.
They don't in Sweden. They usually people don't ask if you want eating something, so they don't give you the food or the fruit. But here it's happened.
If you come to remote places, they always look like, what are you doing out here? So then they often like to share something, some candy or something. No, you know, they say hello when you meet people in the forest, but not more than that.
Talk about the weather, something like that. Yeah, but not the sure food.
But we don't have as much mountains as you have here. We have it in some parts of Sweden, but most of Sweden is quite flat. But we have a lot of forest.
I'll talk about Boston and then I can talk about the UK and then I'll talk about here. Boston, we have a lot more natural trails, so they're completely man-made trails. There's no steps that lead up to a trail. It's all kind of dust and dirt and gravel that leads up to a mountain, and they're not as steep as they are here. I think here there are very steep mountains. So we hiked Namsam Tower, and then we did the old city wall, and then we did Mount Halasan, which was beautifully well maintained and structured, but very, very steep and extreme. In the UK, hiking is a little less extreme, especially England. It's just more countryside, strolls, more hills, less mountains. But yeah, beautiful, great hiking location for anybody that wants to spend time in nature. Yeah, I mean, Americans are very friendly. So when you see people, they tend to be quite friendly and say hi. British people are a little bit more reserved. They don't tend to say hi. But I think Koreans are much more similar to Americans, very friendly, a lot of smiling, a lot of nodding, a lot of fighting, a lot of encouragement going up the mountain. Yeah, I would say that there's a lot of encouragement in the hiking culture here, which was really nice. Sticks, yeah, but that's typical in the US. I think that we're used to having a lot more space in the US, whereas these are much narrow pathways that you're passing people along, and that can feel a bit more rigorous, a little bit more ambitious. And it's all different ages, which was amazing. I think we were so impressed by the young children were climbing, and also much older people were climbing, which is not very common. I would say it's mostly people between their 20s to 60s that tend to hike in the US. Every age, I think people take their hiking very seriously in the way that they dress. Oh, and the other biggest thing is in the US, we like to get a lot of sun. Koreans don't like to get a lot of sun. There's a lot of covering from head to toe. We put our sunscreen on, but also like to have our arms out and get a lot of color when we're walking. So that's a big cultural difference.
It is very different, yeah. Korean hiking culture is just something phenomenal to see. You see so many people going up the mountains. In Ireland, you see some odd people going here and there. Sometimes you get the odd young people going up, but it's not that often. And because it's always raining, people don't really go. But here, you see everybody going up, especially in Bukhansan. So a lot of people go up there, and that's where I went up the first time I came here. Wasn't expecting the trip for it to be so long. We took the very long one, so 4 hours walking was a lot. But it was a really, really, really good experience. Yeah, I was actually one of those. So the first time I went up, this is a funny story. First time I went up, me and my friend decided to stop halfway and have a small picnic, and I lost the map. So we ended up getting lost in Bukhansan. We were up there for 8 hours trying to find the way back down. We couldn't find anybody. We got lost in the woods. We just decided to take a trail and nothing. Just kept walking. But when we got to the top, when we finally found it, there was a lot of people up there picnicking, and it was fantastic. The view was also amazing. Seeing all of Seoul and all the districts separately was really good. No, they usually just go up, see the view, and walk back down because it's so cold and, like, again, always raining. It never stops raining. So they go up, they see the view, and they go back down.
We were on Jeju Island. We tried to climb the Halansan. It went pretty well at the start, so we planned to do 20 kilometers hike. We almost got to the top, but then it started to be very snowy, and there was a specific time slot which we had to be earlier to go to the top, which we unfortunately missed, so we were not allowed to it. Equipment was also not the best, as our shoes had no grip, and that's not the best when you are climbing in snow. We are from North Germany. There's no mountains at all, but Germans are known for hiking a lot, so that's why we also went hiking here, basically just to enjoy the nature.
Maybe in Germany we don't wear caps and a mask.
Yeah, we don't look that professional, so for us it's just we just go in normal clothes, and here the hikers we met were more like well equipped. That was quite different, and shoes and the whole outfit was yeah.
Yes.
Some do,
Yes, but more old people.
or maybe in the mountains they also tend to do it, but as we are from the flat area, we don't use that.
I can compare. In Korea it was like light hiking on a small, I think it's like 200 meters high, that mountain was. In Russia I was climbing like Elbrus mountain, do you know, it's the biggest mountain in Europe, 5.6 thousand meters high. With the snow, with the wind, pretty extreme. Low oxygen level, with a head, spinning head. And in Korea it was like light, just to see around. I saw locals like with the sticks and breathing. Yeah, they using stick or without sticks, pretty same.
Last year I went to Bukhansan. Yeah, all the ajumas, and they do it as an exercise in the morning. I think it's very good, very healthy. They do it faster than me. I'm just a young man student, but oh yes, they brought their banchan, and then they start like eating kimbap and whatnot. I also ate at the top with a friend. Yeah, cause there everywhere is near, so we hike to the next place. Singapore, no mountain, very low. Yeah, I'll hike again. Jeju maybe next time.
My brother went up the mountain behind Yonsei University. There's a small mountain behind that, and I wasn't with him, but he told me it was cool and it was nice. We do a lot of hiking in Norway, so it's nothing new to us, but it was very cool, he said. Maybe just different in ages, I think. Only met old people, not that many young people. He said he only met people from the age of like 50 and up. In Norway, they're like every age go hiking, so not only elderly people but young people too. So next time in Korea I have to try some hiking for sure. Yeah.
I was here in 1988. I lived here and I went to Maisan. I don't remember what city it was in, but I remember it because it was such a fun hike. The mountain looks like horse ears, Maisan. I remember it was really a beautiful hike with a beautiful view, and I've hiked a few times when I lived here, and the people here were always just wonderful when we were hiking. Very pleasant. It's very, very peaceful to hike in Korea. I don't remember a lot, but I did speak some Korean, so we did talk to people. It was really good. That's part of why I wanted to come back. I know it's been 37 years, but I want to come back to visit the same towns that I visited before.
Non è proprio un'escursione, siamo andati sul Seoul Sky a 555 metri d'altezza, tipo eravamo tutti quanti imbragati e siamo andati insieme ad altri in giro, e c'era anche molto simpatico che ci ha spiegato tutto, ci faceva vedere dove stavano le città, se volendo si potevano vedere se non ci fosse stata la foschia, molto carino. Due di noi erano un po' spaventati, non diciamo chi, però invece a me è piaciuto molto, molto molto.